Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Today you join me back where I was in my last episode, still in my happy place, twice in one day. I was here earlier for the sunrise and I couldn't get enough, so I decided, you know what, I'll come back again for sunset. Luckily I was able to get back out as well for the day that was in it, it's Sunday. But I've come back now for sunset. As you can see, the tide is way out compared to where I was earlier on at the dawn shoot. I was right at the top of the beach, but now I'm actually towards the edge of the beach. But the tide is going to change now shortly, so it's going to start coming back in just in time as well for sunset. I'm going to play around, get a couple of different compositions anyway, and use these rocks that are here to see what I can get. But yeah, let's see how we get on today. As you can probably tell by the framing of this shot here, the name of the place is called Rocky Bay, and you can see why it's called Rocky Bay. You have a number of rocks that are further on out here, perfect timing actually for the tide that's here. But you'll always get a different composition, because the one thing I love about seascapes is that the water will always flow in a different way depending on the wave that's coming in. And I've now set up the camera here with a sequence of rocks, as you can see, and they're kind of curving and coming back out and around this way here. I'm going to frame the shot as well, that I can try and have these two rocks that you see in front as the anchor point, and then they will come back up to the shot and then leading out to the sea. But I have to wait for the waves to come in to be able to give something different other than just the plainness of the rocks. So as the water will come in, very similar to this morning actually, I'll wait for the water to come in around and I'll grab the shot then as the water comes in. But I'll also grab a shot as the water goes out, and you get two different types of photographs. Even at the moment here, with the settings that I'm working off of, I'm at f14 and I'm at a 1 second exposure. That will change as the light will change, but I'll always aim to try and go for a minimum anyway of a ½ second exposure. And then as the light will fade, depending on the composition that I end up with as the water will come in, I'll go for some long exposures as well. But yeah, really good to get back out now for sunset, back into the same spot again. I'll come around, like I say, I'll play around here anyway. I'm going to go further bit out so I can catch the water rather than wait for it to come into me anyway. And I'll show you the first shot here that I got here, and then we'll just continue to play around, see what we can have, see exploring on these rocks and see what compositions present themselves. Moved away now from the other set of rocks that I was at, and I've come over to a very interesting curvature in a set of rocks. Now, the water isn't anywhere near where I need it to be right now, but I do think that when the tide starts coming in here and we get the flow of the water coming in this direction, it will give a beautiful photograph. I'm around an hour away from sunset, and you can't really see it there because I'm in shade here, so I had to overexpose that camera, but there's already a bit of color appearing in the sky, so it should be very, very good. However, I do see a large bank of clouds as well now over to the right hand side, so that's west from where I am. Hopefully it doesn't swallow up all color anyway, but either which way, I'm going to wait here for the waves to come in around this area anyway and start flowing in this way, and I do think it will be a beautiful shot just with the kind of S-curve that goes through the image and then leading out into the sky. Something I'm doing actually today as well is having very, very little sky in my images, because there's no point in having sky when there's nothing really in the sky. But on the horizon there's a bit of haze, so hopefully that's the part that catches some colour later, and that's all I really need to have within the photograph itself. So yeah, going to continue to play around anyway here. I'm going to take a couple of handheld shots while I'm waiting for the water to come in. Hopefully it won't be that long anyway from now, because tide is after turning, so we should see the water coming in pretty quickly. But yeah, again, lovely shot. We'll take this one and I'll talk to you in a moment. Best laid plans don't always pan out. And like I said earlier on, I was looking at a nice S-curve coming through here, but the water isn't strong enough really that it's not going to give any white within that. So it's just trickling in, and as the water comes in and comes around again, it's actually after getting rid of that lovely S-curve that I was talking about earlier. But what I have done now is I've gone for a long exposure. So I've gone up as far as a 13-second exposure, because I kind of want to smooth out all that movement that's in the water really, because there's nothing of interest in the movement in the water itself. And you know, for that photograph I'm using this lovely rock that I mentioned as well on the left hand side of the frame, and then leading out here there's a few barnacles as well that are there. Don't know if I'll be able to pick them up or not on the camera, because they are quite dark in the shade that they're in at the moment, but I'm happy enough really, you know, to get that photograph anyway, even though it wasn't exactly what I was hoping. What I had envisaged in my head versus reality is a big distance, I suppose, or a big gap between the two of them. But we're almost at sunset right now anyway. Don't know if I'm going to get any colour in that sky, but I'm going to hang around anyway just in case I do, because if I do get it, it will be nice, and then I'll probably scramble to try and find a different composition depending on where the water flow actually is. But there's not much action in the waves really, so you know, it's not that lively. But still, it's still nice. And again, as always, after such a long time in lockdown, it's fantastic to be back by the sea. So whether or not I get some great conditions or great images, it doesn't really bother me, to be honest, because I'm out, I'm getting some photographs, I'm able to breathe in the air like I always talk about, you know, get that smell of the sea, get the movement of the water as well. And you know, there's quite a lot of people on the beach as well, which I'm surprised with for in December. But yeah, it's a beautiful day today, so I suppose people will be out for that. And that seaweed bats that I mentioned actually in my earlier one, I was talking to the guy earlier. I'll actually link below who it is. It's Wild Atlantic Seaweed Bats, and a guy called Owen, very nice chap. He told me that they're booked out for the day, so it's all bookings that they were doing, and I can understand why, because it's a beautiful spot to be able to sit and look at this beautiful area behind you, meanwhile being in a hot seaweed bath. I've never had one. Maybe I'll have one another time, but not today anyway. But yeah, as you can see here now, look, with the water coming around, I'll just take that shot here. I've got it set up that it's going to do 13 seconds. And again, I'll show you this photograph anyway here. We'll wait now for hopefully what we get for last of light anyway, and we'll see what type of photographs we can get overall. So, as expected, that bank of cloud took all colour that I was expecting for today, but nonetheless, it's still good, I think. You know, I got a couple of nice shots, played around as well. I got a couple of long exposures, which are actually quite interesting. So yeah, I've enjoyed my afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. I'm going to finish this episode right now. Thank you very much, as always, for joining me. If it's your first time on the channel, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, give me a like, give me a comment, and until the next time, Slán go fóill.